It's nice to give people that comfort and like love. I mean, I think cooking is love a lot of the
Oh, yeah,
times.
definitely.
I don't know if I would say it's like my love language. I just love cooking for people because what I eat at home is so different from what I'm making
Oh,
people.
me too. Um, I was prepping the other day and, like, at this ghost kitchen, and then the owner of it, she's like, "Oh, what'd you get for lunch?" I'm like, "Chinese food."
Hell yeah.
And and she's like, "Oh, chefs do eat like shit." And I
Taco
was yeah,
Bell,
taco I love
bitches.
Taco Bell. That's my weakness.
Me too. I love
I love
hearing that.
Taco Bell, so much. I have lots of debates about it.
Oh, that's like a whole like, invite me back for a whole other pod about Taco Bell,
Sponsor us, Taco Bell. I will
please.
be so happy. My sister
Man.
also loves Taco Bell as well. Like, we have a weird thing, like, if we, like, do anything at night, we get drunk and we're like, "Taco Bell?" And we're like, "Taco Bell. We're going to Taco Bell." My dad hates
Yes.
Taco Bell.
Well,
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Line Check podcast. It's me, your host, Brennan Villarreal, and today I'm in the studio with Evanice Holz of Señorita.
Hi, I'm so
Uh,
happy to be here, thank you.
yeah, welcome. You're the first guest in our new studio. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the other one was like, but this one's very impressive.
Yes, this one is impressive. So, for our future guests that come in, we're in a
Sounds
new nice spot, and it's got wood floors. They're not real wood floors, but they're
You
nice.
hear that?
Yeah, they're nice. Anyways, Senorita is a Cuban food pop up, plant based in I'm based in Long Beach, California, but she is based in Los Angeles,
Yep.
California, and going on almost 7 years.
Yeah, it's been a journey.
It's been a ride,
Yeah,
lots of up and downs.
yeah, lots of ups, lots of downs, and then now just finally, like, letting just joy come into everything
Hmm.
again after, like, some rough pandemic years and some shifts and some burnout,
Hmm.
the cycle.
Yeah, exactly. And like me, I've done pop ups lots of times, and I know how hard it is to haul stuff around. And you were at Smorgasburg for how long?
6 years.
6 years. Okay, that's
It's
a
a
long
long time.
time.
Yeah.
And it's every Sunday, right?
Every single Sunday, rain or shine, and also, only 2 days off a year, which is Christmas weekend and New Year's weekend. So 6 years just at Smorgasburg alone, I've set up, over 300 times, not including pop-ups that we would do probably 2 to 3 times a week on top of that. So,
Wow.
lots of that.
Wow. I'm gonna just That's
Thank
that's a
you.
lot. That's dedication right there. I know how that feels like, and I've never done it that many times.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Very intense.
how was that? Like, were there some days where you're just like, I don't want to like wake up and
Oh, yeah.
pop up? I'm sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
as in being a normal person. Like, sorry if it's like a
100%.
psychopath that's just like, I just love doing this every single day.
No, I
Yeah.
have it's really funny because I have, like, an insane drive, and I'm just able to as soon as I'm there, I'm on, and I'm ready, and I'm going full force, and it takes me a while to, like, come down from it, but, of course, there's so many days I mean, there are days leading up to the day that I have to do it where I'm like, "Oh, fuck. Can we swear on
Oh
here?"
yeah, you
Okay.
can swear. Yeah,
Where I'm
yeah.
like where I'm like, "Oh, no, I've gotta go do this. I've gotta load my car. I've gotta unload my car. I've gotta load the event. I've gotta unload the event." It's, like, basically 4 rounds of lifting just for, we were
Hmm.
talking earlier, just, like, 5, 6 hours of sales, sometimes 4. So, yeah, very labor intensive.
Yeah. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about the logistics that go behind the scenes of just like a just say from the moment you wake up of your pop up, like what is the like operation for you? Like what time do you wake up to like go to Smorgasburg
Yeah,
and like set
so
everything up? Like it's very important so people understand how hard it is to be an offsite vendor. And
yes.
I feel like people don't understand that how hard it is. It's a grind.
Ew, oh, yeah. If there was one word to describe it, it would be grind, like grind. Um, well, it depends. It's funny because it's a loaded question because it depends how prepared I wanna be that
Hmm.
day. It depends, like, "All right, are we gonna give this 110% or are we going to roll up at the last minute and be under stress all day?" So, A perfect day, I'm usually up at 5 a.m., and that is for, baking all of our pastelitos and our pastries. We do, like, vegan meat pies and guava cheese pastries. So I'll bake those in the morning, start loading up all of our carts to load up my car, go to the storage unit, get everything, and then go back to the kitchen, load my car with all the kitchen stuff. So usually I'm doing 2 or 3 trips in my little Prius just to make it to smart. I'm only half a mile from
Mhm.
there from with my, commercial kitchen, so it's pretty
That's good.
it's a good deal. So, once I get there, ideally, like around 7 a.m., I just start setting up 10 by 10 tent for 6 foot tables, all the tapestry that goes on there. I start getting, all my propane tanks like filled up and loaded with the vendors, and just start setting up basically an outdoor kitchen that has to be the same, each and every time for the type of service we do, which is, sandwiches. We do yuca, so we have a fryer. We had a grill at one point of sale and getting all that ready. And usually around like on a great day, around 9:30, it's like, okay, maybe collect myself a little bit. Maybe I'll even put a little makeup on before this event so that I feel a little less tired. you know?
How much caffeine you drinking?
Uh, well, I think this might make me sound really hardcore, but I don't drink caffeine.
That makes sense though, because when you become dependent on caffeine, you get more tired. Once
Yeah.
once you, like, hit that wall of, like, I've drank so much caffeine and when I drink more, it's just not doing anything anymore, and then you just get, like, crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been there before, so I know, but
Yes.
yeah.
I hear that. I did have, like, a 1-month stint
Mhm.
of drinking coffee for the first time in my, like, life pretty much. I worked at Starbucks when I was 18, so, I tried coffee there, but I never had it after that. Anyway, but no, I tried it for a little bit, and it just made me so anxious and also, like, nuts, like, so I'm already a very high energy person, and it just makes me it's like a sugar high for me.
Yeah.
Only way I can describe it is, like, when I have, like, hot chocolate, that's really when I'm, like, troubled and, like, off the walls. But, no, no caffeine, just honestly just going. Like,
Mhm.
for me, I just know I'm need to get this done, so I need to figure this out, and if I'm not getting it done, I'm not making money that day, and I'm also wasting labor and time that it took to prepare everything. So right when 10 a.m. opens until 4 p.m., it is just customers all day. We'll have, like, some dips here and there, but, usually, like, Smorg has been was pretty busy when we were doing it. And then after that, it's just breaking down, cleaning everything up, loading the car, going back to the storage unit, organizing
In
it in the
reverse,
storage.
doing it in
Oh,
reverse.
yeah. Yeah, slow-mo too,
Yeah, yeah,
because 'cause
very
I'm so
slow-mo,
tired.
yeah.
I'm, like, limping.
Oh my
Um,
god.
Going to the kitchen, washing everything, and then, yeah, going home and taking, like, the best shower of my life.
Yeah, or a eucalyptus, it's a salt bath. Yeah,
Ooh, yeah, that
get
sounds
those aches
nice.
and pains out.
Yeah, that sounds I started, using a heating pad. Once I got older, I was like, "You know what? Like, I really need to, like, treat my body right because my feet are, like, buzzing at the end of the day." You know that
Yeah,
feeling? You just, like, worked that shift all day long, and you're just like,
they feel like
"This."
they're still moving when you take them off,
Yeah,
and you're, like,
exactly.
off sitting on the couch and, like, "Zzz."
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's exactly how it feels, and it's like, even when I'm showering, I'm like I got my little nail brush, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I feel like my hands are I've washed them, like, 5 times in the shower.
they
I feel
still
like they're
smell
still
like
dirty."
food. Yeah, I know.
Uh,
I just rub it with, like, lemon juice or, like, a lemon, like, this really dig the lemon into my hands.
ooh,
That's what
hot
I've
tip.
learned, yeah, that seems to work. Or you can do
Okay.
vinegar, but I think vinegar smells not as good as lemon, you know?
Yeah, hot tip.
Yeah, but yeah, lemon. You can also do I've saw this, like, on a tip thing of, like, cleaning, you put a lemon in the microwave with, like, water and boil it, I think, or maybe it's just a
Oh,
lemon and then it, like, cleans the I don't know, maybe I'm saying this
wow.
wrong, I'm probably saying this wrong, don't try this maybe. Might
Maybe I
explode your
will.
microwave.
Maybe I heard about putting the lemon inside of the garbage disposal
Mhm.
to make it nice and fresh, and you can put, like, ice in there and the lemon peels,
Hmm,
and then yeah, apparently it cleans your garbage
interesting,
disposal.
interesting. So let's talk about how you got into cooking in the first place. What inspired you to start Señorita?
Well, what inspired me to start Senorita was, I think, Around 2017 is when at least I started noticing pop-ups really
Mhm.
happen, like the indie ones where, people are taking the food that they grew up with and making it plant-based in my specific scene. Um, and I remember walking down York Boulevard in Highland Park and trying someone's food and then, thinking, "I can do this." And then, like, a month later, had a pop-up already, and what inspired it was, just knowing that, I've been, plant-based now or not eating meat, I guess, for almost, like, 17, 18 years. For me, it's like, "No, you guys can have this without the meat and dairy, and it'll still taste really good.
Mhm.
I just wanna share it." I've always loved entertaining. It's been a huge thing my whole life. Um I actually didn't really enjoy cooking until I went plant-based and was forced to cook for
Mhm.
myself because no one at home would do it
Yeah.
because they didn't get it. So I think it was just the fact that I always wanted to have my hands dipped in food, but didn't quite. I having starting Señorita was kind of a way to reconnect with like my cultural identity and my independence, and that's how I started it.
That's amazing. I love when people take ownership of their destiny,
Yes.
and it's very humbling to hear that you just like wanted to try this and you knew that you can do it and you just did
Yeah, that's
it.
that's I just did it,
Yeah,
like,
you
for
just did it
real.
like
It
the
was
Nike, like Nike.
100
Just do it.
100%. I mean, I and even before then, I'd tried culinary programs, like, at the community colleges I was in, but I didn't eat meat or dairy at the time, so I was cooking things that I couldn't taste, so I dropped out. It all felt very, like, counterintuitive, and I also didn't feel, like, the passion behind it because it just felt like a waste of an education. So for me, what really taught me how to cook was recreating all these family recipes and them tasting the same. Like I
Mhm.
couldn't believe, oh my gosh, I've been missing out because I haven't been cooking them for myself. And I think the warmth of starting Senorita has been, especially in the beginning, people of Cuban descent or who grew up, say, in Florida, who love Cuban food and are now vegan and haven't had it for so long and were able to try it and like it makes them so happy. That's really nice for me.
I always love when I get the satisfaction from making someone's day great with the experience they had eating your food, and it's very special. I've heard that before. I did like a garden chef competition yesterday, and I
Cool.
used everything that was on the farm to make this dish, and the grower was like really happy that his dish won because I made a beet dish, and just try to use like all local produce, and he was just like so happy that I made a dish with his beets, and it's
Yeah.
like food is special. It's you're giving something to somebody and you're building an experience.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, it's comforting.
Yeah.
It's nice to give people that comfort and like love. I mean, I think cooking is love a lot of the
Oh yeah,
times.
definitely.
I don't know if I would say it's like my love language. I just love cooking for people because what I eat at home is so different from what I'm making
Oh,
people.
me too. Um, I was prepping the other day and like at this ghost kitchen, and then the owner of it, she's like, "Oh, what'd you get for lunch?" I'm like, "Chinese food,"
Hell yeah.
and and she's like, "Oh, chefs do eat like shit." And I
Taco
was yeah,
Bell,
taco. I love
bitches.
Taco Bell. That's my weakness.
Me too. I love
I love
hearing that.
Taco Bell so much. I have lots of debates about it.
Oh,
Uh,
that's like a whole like, invite me back for a whole other pod about Taco Bell,
Sponsor us, Taco Bell. I will
please.
be so happy.
Oh,
My
man.
sister also loves Taco Bell as well. Like we have a weird thing. Like if we like do anything at night, we get drunk and we're like Taco Bell, and we're like Taco Bell. We're going to Taco Bell. My dad hates
Yes.
Taco Bell.
Well, I, was actually I like to send my girlfriends texts in the morning, and, I texted one of my besties this morning, and I was like, "Do you wanna go on a girl date to the Taco Bell Cantina in Hollywood and just dress up?" As
That
if we're
sounds
like
fun.
I know. And I don't really drink, but I would have one of their very, very stiff
Yeah, I
margaritas just for
haven't
the
been to
night.
one yet. Does the Taco Bell hotel exist still? When they
Oh,
opened in Palm Springs?
what?
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know. It came out probably like
Fact
4 years
check?
ago, probably closed down during the pandemic probably,
Whoa, I
but
didn't know about
they
that.
opened a Taco Bell hotel. It's like
Dreams,
yeah, they had like
dreams.
blankets that were like themed in the hot sauce. What's your go-to
My
hot
heart.
sauce?
I mix them. So I do
Oh,
Diablo mixed with, fire and mild.
uh-huh.
That's pretty much all of them, I guess,
Except for hot.
except for hot,
Yeah.
yeah. I like it depends on my mood. Sometimes I'll just do Diablo and I'll mix it with mild because I actually like the flavor of mild,
Mhm.
but I like the kick of Diablo, so that's my go-to, but a lot of the times recently, and there have been a lot of recent Taco Bells this year, they don't have Diablo for some
Hmm.
reason, so I end up going with fire. Is it fire?
Yeah, it's fire,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it
I
is.
only use fire. Yeah,
Okay, exclusive.
but maybe I should try that. I've never tried mixing my hot sauces before. Zarek is also a big hot sauce connoisseur.
Oh my
He,
goodness.
like, likes it way more than I do. Is heat, like, a thing in Cuban food? Is there a lot of spice in Cuban food?
Not at
No.
all. Not it's actually one thing that if we were to get one question, I think a lot, at events that we do is like, "Do you have any hot sauce?"
Mhm.
And it's like, "Actually, no. Nothing in Cuban food is spicy." Like, the pepper that we use is, like, black pepper and bell pepper.
Okay.
There have been dishes where I add heat to it. Like, I know and I'll take influences, like, from Miami. I know a lot of places, have at the table the crystal hot sauce.
I
So
love that.
I'll use
Louisiana.
that. Yeah, I do
Yeah, it's
really
so
love
good.
that one, and it's actually one of the hot sauces in our, sauce that we have, our frita sauce.
Nice. Why don't you tell the audience, like, some of your favorite dishes that you make?
Okay. I was just asked this recently, and I feel like mine are pretty classic, to be honest. I love the meat pie, which is basically Cuban style picadillo, which is traditionally ground beef, bell peppers, raisins, olives, capers, tomato sauce, Cuban spices, inside of puff pastry, and then topped with simple syrup. So that I can eat no matter what. I won't get sick of that because I'm sure you can relate. The more you cook something, the more you don't wanna eat it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cuban sandwich, also one of my number ones. So good, and the way that we do our cubano with, our jackfruit is really special because it's super labor intensive just to make sure I feel like a lot of people have, like, jackfruit trauma where they're like, they've had really bad jackfruit somewhere that tastes like brine from the can that they use, and, like, anyway, every time someone comes up to me going like, "Oh, I don't really like jackfruit," I'm like, "I don't know if it's really possible to not like jackfruit
I like
because
jackfruit.
it's like tofu, right? But the texture's like a lot more approachable
Yeah,
for a lot of people." So I'm like, "I think you just haven't had it right. Let me just try it." I've given stuff for free before. I'm like, "Just try it,
I
and then you can
trust
pay
trust
me."
me, trust me.
But I think those 2 are my favorite. There are a lot of classic dishes like ropa vieja that is really, really delicious. It's Cuba's national dish.
Mhm.
So, we do that with jackfruit, bell peppers, olives. I feel like Cuban cuisine, a lot of the dishes utilize the same ingredients. They're
And
just
variations.
yes. So it can get a little monotonous because the ingredients are the same, but somehow like everything tastes different.
Mhm.
Um, so I think those are my 3 faves.
That sounds good. I love sandwiches. Yeah, is going back to jackfruit and cooking with it or marinating it. It's just like trying to change it to where it doesn't taste like jackfruit.
Yes.
Like you want to season it as much as you can to where you're like, whoa, this tastes amazing. It doesn't taste like jackfruit anymore.
Yes.
And I think people don't understand that, or whoever's cooking with it don't understand it sometimes.
Yeah, or just like can't be bothered.
Yeah,
Like, sometimes like there are definitely steps that we skip because not with jackfruit, but like with other things. Like, sometimes we'll buy the plantain chips instead of making the plantain chips. Very easy, but it's also like 2 extra hours of labor and
yeah,
prep. And it's like we have to choose some things with a pop-up just because our storage space and all this. There's so many like little like details to think about. But I think with jackfruit, it's something that, like, anyone can like
mhm,
if they have it, like, made well,
yeah, exactly.
you know?
Yeah, and definitely when you're doing your own food and you're buying supplies and all that, there's things that you can cut corners in, like veganese. I
Yeah.
use veganese a lot. Like, I'm not gonna make my
Oh,
own veganese because that's
no.
labor intensive, and then I'm
No.
doing this whole thing. But I can just buy veganese and skip the step, and then get what I want when I add whatever ingredients I want into my mayo, vegan mayo.
100%. I
Uh,
I don't get any joy in making my own mayo
no, I
at
don't think
all.
anybody does.
Like, why?
It's
You know?
it's not very fun. Yeah, It's like I'm not gonna make my own mustard when I
No.
can buy some really great mustard that's been perfected for hundreds of years.
We don't need to reinvent the wheel here, you know? I completely agree with that, and I do have friends, and I do admire them who do go this super from scratch on
Mhm.
every single thing, but I can't relate on a lot of things because I don't need to do that for
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
It's the difference that it makes in, like, a lot of the dishes that I make, like, say even the Cuban sandwich, like, talking about mustard, you
Mm.
know? It's like, it's not the star of, like, the flavor that's coming out of our Cuban, like, I don't need to go that extra
Mhm.
mile. Maybe that makes me sound bad, but
No, I don't think so.
I'm just being real.
I mean, let's hit up all the restaurants in Miami and ask them who makes their own mustard.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think none of them are gonna say yeah.
I'll get back to you, but, like, guaranteed. I don't
It's like, "Hey,
think
do you guys make your own mustard for your Cubano?" It's
yeah,
like,
they're just
"Yeah,
like,
we all do." Just
"No,
kidding.
there's no way."
How dare you ask us that question?
I know. Yeah, we don't need to do that.
Have you ever been to Miami and Florida?
You know what is funny is I actually haven't been in Miami. Like, I've been to the
Mhm,
airport, I've on the way to Cuba, so 'cause I go to Cuba every year. I haven't actually, like, wandered, and I have a bestie who has her own, vegan cookie business, and she's from Miami, is always getting me to go, and it's just haven't has not aligned, but I do keep tabs on the iconic restaurants out
mhm,
there to, like, if I want to get any inspo, if I wanna see how people are doing things, or if I want a new Cuban menu item and I can't there's not really too many places here to get that
mhm.
inspo, I will look online and YouTube at, like, what's going on at the restaurants there. Not, any of the vegan ones, but
It's
the
like some
regular ones.
R&D, online R&D.
Yeah, so R&D ultimate R&D would be going there, and I hope I can do that this year because now all my Cuban family that was in Cuba, they're now in Miami, so
Mhm.
I need to do a trip this year.
That's awesome. Have you ever thought about opening your own restaurant?
So many times. Yeah, I've thought about it so many times, and it's really interesting because, I've had Señorita now for 7 years, and you would think that by now, especially with, like, after having success on Food Network and winning the show, that we would, like, take the next step. But for me, I'm still very much like the business is my business, right? And I'm still very much a I want to work to live, not live to work. And the commitment always, and I think that's why after 7 years, I think I pretty much have decided not to do that, is that's your life, especially as a restaurant owner, that is going to be your life. And I don't know, as much as I love food,
Mhm.
cooking for people, entertaining, and my business itself, I don't know if I want that commitment to make that my entire life and have that pressure all the time because as gratifying as food service is, it's also like one of the most high stress jobs there is out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know mentally if that's something that I want to really attach myself to. I love doing it in the way that I'm doing it where we'll get hit up to do catering a couple times a week, or we'll be able to do restaurant takeovers. And like the romance of the restaurant sounds really great, but the logistics of it and everything, it's just, I don't know, it just seems like it takes a lot of your life away from yourself.
It does. It does a lot. Yeah. It just I guess it takes someone that's wants to sacrifice that or try and find a like a middle ground or what's the like solution? Can I still achieve having a restaurant and still have the value of my life, not sacrifice? It's
Right.
hard. Those are big decisions and I mean I eventually want to open my own restaurant and me and my girlfriend always think about like you sure you want to do this? Cuz we probably won't have a life. Um
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are doing that
yeah.
together, then that
Yeah.
that becomes a
Yeah.
whole, like, different
Yeah.
fun maybe thing. And also, like, if you have a bunch of investors or if you have a big team and, like, that's your thing. For me, like, I mean, Senorita's always been very intimate and it's been very small, and I don't know, it's not a definite no, but right now, my path and my words for this year are joy and reset, which is why I stopped doing, pop-ups for the time being because as I was describing, like, it is a pretty big grind, it's and I'm trying to find what is the balance within me and my business that I can do to where I'm still living my dream and passion of serving people and making incredible food for them, but also living my life and all the other passions and things that I
Mhm.
love to do outside of food. And I feel grateful that I can kind of do both right now.
That's awesome. I'm all about that. So more power to you.
Thank you.
What are some of the things you like to do besides cooking?
Well, I love being in the outdoors, solo backpacking, and also just finished coming off of a solo camper van trip for the first time.
Fun.
So that was really fun. I went through Colorado and Utah, just me and this epic van,
Wow, that
and
sounds so rad.
it was
I
really
envy
rad.
that. I'm so
It
jealous.
was see, and I couldn't do that if I was still doing what
No,
I was
no.
doing. That was really fun, and, it's funny because both of them are, like I guess I really like mental challenges, and solo backpacking is one thing because once you're 6, 7 miles up into the mountain, only those people who are also up there in the mountain, like, I don't know if you have, like, this fear mindset where someone's gonna get you at night, like, it's only them. But when you're in the van, like, as a solo, like, female traveling, it's like, oh my gosh, so many more people have access to me, like, in this van, and that's the only, like, thing I needed to get over. But, like, I mean, the view, the drive, the solitude, the little hole in the wall, like, thrift shops that you stop at and find some gems, like, that I love doing. I love the outdoors.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
really want to do that now.
Highly recommend.
And we're in due for a vacation. We're going to Las Vegas. It's like
Fun.
I haven't been there since I was 21, 32
Wow.
right now.
Hell yeah.
I just want to go eat, honestly.
It's so
Yeah.
fun. Like,
It's so close and it's like a easy getaway that you can get with being like luxurious and then I can people watch and eat
yeah,
some food. And
the
that's what I want to
food.
do. I'm not a big club person. I don't
No.
do that stuff. Like I said, I'd rather go outdoors.
Yes, yeah, same. Although I was there a couple of times last year actually. I went with a girlfriend of mine and we were just like, "Should we go to a club?" And we did, and it was just like the worst. Like it was
I mean, I don't
like
know if I heard a story where someone's like, it was the best. I mean, I don't, my
maybe
friends are
younger.
different. My friends are different, that most of them are on the same boat as me. So yeah,
Yes.
they're probably the wrong people to ask.
But Vegas itself, I do have I have, like, a new relationship with it where I'm like, "Man, you can go there and just, like, have the best time at the spa, at the pool, and then eat, like, at these, like, gorgeous restaurants at night." They really do it up
Yeah,
there,
they
and
do.
I really love just walking through the hotels.
Yeah, hotel hopping. It's fun. I used to
Yes.
do that when I was little. We had just
Yeah.
like my parents just like, here's some cash for arcades. And then me and my cousins would just like go hotel hopping and just like cause havoc or whatever we're doing, like running around, chasing each
So
other.
fun.
No one can catch us.
Vegas,
Yeah.
baby,
Yeah.
you know?
Um, have you ever thought about making a cookbook or writing
Yes.
one? I feel like you do really well.
Yes, that is something that I'm working on, just getting, like, my sort of like a layout down where I haven't even started, but that's my 2024 goal is to get that pitch out
Hmm.
there and get my cookbook out there because with the exhaustion that comes after doing pop-ups, I'm sure you're familiar, it's like, it's not just that one day, it's the next day is your, like, recovery day
Hmm.
of, like, all this labor. I haven't had just, like, the mental bandwidth to do that because I actually don't I love creating in the kitchen, I don't love writing recipes. It's actually just, like, such a tedious thing
It's
for me.
boring.
It's so boring, right?
I have to like remind myself. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, I should probably make a recipe for this. I was like, oh, I'm the only one that's making it. Like I
Right?
remember how to make it.
It's really wild how much we remember though
Yeah.
as chefs, like, I have a register in here, but, as a business owner, that's gotten me in trouble because it's kind of like, "Okay, you guys just add a little bit of this, add a little bit
Yeah.
of that," like, it makes sense, right? No, but the cookbook is definitely something that is in the works and something that I'm excited about because the point of Señorita is to reach more people on how you can make this culturally relevant food accessible and plant-based to, like, anyone that wants to try
Hmm.
it, and I think that to me, more that side of things is, like, more, of interest right now.
Hmm.
Sounds really fun.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. I'm sure you would make a lot of plant-based folks really happy.
Yes.
Just giving them the knowledge. And
Yes.
I have a lot of friends that are also like Filipino and vegan, and they wish they like had some like recipes to do vegan Filipino food, which is like super rare. So it's like
Yes.
in the same sense, Cuban vegan food.
Well, I think we have 2, like, pork-heavy cultures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
There's like a pork skin and it has like rice in it. It's Cuban.
I've never had it, so I
Yeah,
don't
there's
know.
like but it's called like lechon or
Lechon, well,
lechona.
no, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, just like Filipinos have lechon.
yes,
It's just a
so
different style.
yes, and we have a lot of similar names too, and the thing, I mean, blame it on Spain, you know? But we have lechon, and our jackfruit lechon is what we do for our Cuban sandwich, and, that's really fun because whenever I'm approaching, like, a recipe that I'm
Mhm.
veganizing like that, it's like, "Okay, first, how do we try to, as best as I can, emulate just pork, like just that. Okay, and then how do we add like the actual lechon flavors that they're making that pork with and then kind of like build from there? It's really fun. It's kind of just like a bunch of like pages that you're just writing and you're just figuring out how to tell this story in this bite. And I think that is really special about food, vegan or not. I think it's really cool when someone can take a bite and like sense memory starts
Yeah.
coming in, you
Yeah.
know?
And that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're hitting all the notes if you can do that.
Yeah.
Um, so we're gonna get to our best segment. What's your favorite in the weeds story?
Oh my gosh. um I feel
I mean, we started the show off
yes.
with already just sounding horrible for like waking up at 5 in the morning with no coffee.
I
It's like
know.
that's in the weeds for me, no coffee.
Yeah, it's really funny because I because I still have I'm in the weeds a lot still. I feel like the stories I have aren't that exciting because I haven't grown out of that phase yet where I'm like, let's prepare,
Mhm.
you know? But I would say when we were filming the Great Food Truck Race, there was quite a few of those. We were under a lot of pressure doing that. Everything that is on those shows, that is real. It's just like there's the crew that's
Mhm.
also stressing you out in the background. And I think for us, there was a stop in Long Beach, there was a stop in LA that we were slammed. I want to say over 100 of people in line.
Wow.
And I'm working in the kitchen. Chelly, one of our team members too, was in the kitchen, and Audrey was taking orders. And she took orders so fast that day because everything's timed,
Mhm.
right? You have to take like it's a numbers game, so the more orders and the more sales that you make, the more you're likely to win that city, and so she just kept taking orders, and our hands couldn't move fast enough. People were waiting 2.5 hours for their food, and then once we and I mean, there's no stress like being backed up with hangry people. That you can't replicate that, like, just, like, God-fearing, like, it's so tangible and, like, also, like, I don't know, like, kinda good in a way? Like, I don't know. It's like, why are we in food? There are some things you can't replicate in life, but anyway, so we got down to the last maybe, like, 20 orders, and we ran out of food, and we had to tell each and every person that had already been waiting 2 to 2.5 hours, "I'm so sorry, we sold out of food." And, I don't know, that was pretty intense
That
for me.
sucks. That sounds
That
horrible.
just sounds like bad business,
Yeah.
and I was willing to, like, can we go to the store and get food? But filming had ended, and,
Mhm.
like, in a regular pop-up, I would have made it all work, but because that's going on, and then while we're trying to use our hands as quickly as I can, we also have a producer in the back going, "Hey, we need to stop right now because we need to film this certain segment." While there are real people who paid real money for this food waiting and just watching you, and it looks like you're just, like, fucking around laughing in there, but really you're just like I've never sweat so
I'd
hard.
be so embarrassed.
I was so mortified. I was like,
And then you have to keep like a straight face, I'm sure.
well, yeah, and luckily everyone was really cool. We
Okay.
only had, like, one person that was, like, a little, rightfully so,
Mhm.
upset, but they understood, and I think one thing that I learned in that is, like, so much of the vegan community came out to, like, support us at that time so we could, win, and that was awesome, but, man, there's nothing like that. I also remember, like, in my first years of doing Señorita, I was doing a lot of the pop-ups alone or a friend of mine that would come and just help me, like, for free because they just were like, "Go girl, like, let's do this." So a lot of my girlfriends. So there was one day I was doing a pop-up. This is classic me. no one's gonna come. I'm gonna have so much food left over. And then, of course, this is an echo park where I don't know if it's still there, the Cinnaholic was at the time. There's like a Chipotle there. Anyway, I was in the parking lot set up, and then all of a sudden, like, people start coming, and I'm like, "Yay!" And then, so, like, that's done, but then also then the line just keeps stretching, and it's stretched from, Sunset Boulevard, and then it wrapped around Colorado, like, insane, like, 2 to 3 block line for just, like, this little gal who thought no one was gonna show up making tamales and just, like, was alone. I had to have one of my friends that came that was coming to support my food. She was in line. She came and just, like, got to work and started taking orders and helping me. I have a lot of amazing girlfriends that have helped me
That's
in
awesome.
Señorita. So,
Wow.
anyway, I don't know if
No,
those
those
count.
were those were crazy.
Can you feel
I
the
feel,
sweat?
I'm sweating already. Um, yeah, I've heard other stories where someone comes in, like a friend's is coming to eat at the restaurant, and then their, like, friend is in the weeds, and they're like, "I'll come and help you."
Yeah.
That's always good to have friends. We need friends
Yes, yes.
when we're in the weeds.
I wouldn't have gotten this far had it not been for them. They're just so epic and legendary and just willing to, like, get their hands dirty, and for them, it's fun. I don't know. I think about it as, like, being girls and, like, playing make believe or something,
Mhm.
and, like, today's just the restaurant day game or the restaurant day, and we're just gonna do that. So, anyway, very lucky, but there's plenty more where that came from.
That's awesome. Well, it was really fun to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
and coming
you.
down to Long Beach from
Yeah,
LA,
in a storm.
in a storm. Yeah, it's super windy today.
Yes.
Anyways, it was great to have you, and I hope
Thank
much
you.
more success and much more retreats.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thanks for having me.
That was it, guys, and that's your line check for today. Make sure you guys check out Senorita and go try their food. Bye.